I've lived in Colorado Springs pretty much all of my life, and I've learned some really interesting things along the way. So I made this video of 17 interesting facts about Colorado Springs that you may or may not know that most people definitely rarely talk about. But make sure you stay till the end for number 17 because it's definitely a weird and interesting one. And if you have other interesting facts to add, make sure you toss those in the comments as well, because I want to know things that maybe you know that I might not know either. So number one is Memorial Park. Now this park is really cool. It's got a lot of playgrounds. There's a lake, which is called Prospect Lake, right in the middle, and it's about a mile around. And if you walk around this lake, there's a lot of different exercising things that you could do. So there's like bars that you can do spins on. You can do all these different exercises, which is kind of cool. So you do your mile, but then you might want to stop and do like some calisthenics, and there's a beam that you can walk across, like a balance beam. So it's really geared towards fitness people, people that want to stay healthy, but you get to go outside and be in the elements. There's like cute little pelicans that come up. We've got cranes. My husband said that he actually saw an eagle and he had taken pictures of it. So I thought that was super cool. So I've seen hummingbirds and deer and all these different types of animals in Colorado Springs, not necessarily Memorial Park. Never seen them there. But I just think it's really cool to be able to live in a city where you can have nature right next door. Number two, let's talk about Garden of the Gods. Now, Garden of the Gods gets an estimated 4 million or more people that visit Colorado Springs per year, and it could be more now. But they all come to see Garden of the Gods, which is a huge tourist attraction here in Springs. So that's pretty much what we're known for, but it keeps our economy pretty healthy in the summertime. Garden of the Gods is a magical geological site that is made of red rock formation, and the name actually came from a surveyor who was in town, and he gave it the name. He looked at it, he said, "This is a garden fit for gods," and that just was the name that stuck. Number three, now we are known as a resort town. That was actually how Colorado Springs was started. We had people like General Palmer, along with guys like Spencer Penrose, who you'll see his name everywhere, the hospital. We've got different places named after him, because he was one of the founding members of Colorado Springs, and they built the Broadmoor Hotel and established the El Pomar Foundation to honor Julie and Spencer Penrose for their philanthropist activities to protect the future well-being of the people of Colorado. So basically all that to say that we started as a resort town, and so we're kind of continuing on as a resort town for people who want to move here to live a specific lifestyle, which includes a lot of things to do like hiking, biking, even going skiing, even though that's several hours away. People come here and have always come here to live a specific lifestyle. Number four, we've just inaugurated our very first Black mayor of Colorado Springs, who is an independent, and everyone is just super excited to see him bring the community together and help our economy grow and build more of a force, unifying people around a common purpose. So we'll see how that goes. Super excited for all of the new changes and how that is going to look for our future. Number five is the history of our first military base, which was Fort Carson Army. Fort Carson was established in 1942, just after the Pearl Harbor attacks, and the government actually arranged for them to be out here. We had some land down south, and so Colorado Springs actually donated that land that was down there to the United States War Department, and that was named after an Army Scout General, Kit Carson. Number six, everyone calls Denver the Mile High City, but we're actually higher than Denver. Denver is definitely known for being the Mile High City, but Colorado Springs is definitely higher, and not that it's a competition, but I never really realized that just because Denver had the name, and well, they're like almost exactly a mile high, but I always thought that our elevation was lower for some reason. But interesting fact that you may or may not know. And number seven, on that note, Denver is actually smaller than Colorado Springs when you're looking at the overall square miles. I always thought Denver was much bigger, but Colorado Springs is bigger as far as our land goes. But as far as the population, we're definitely the younger sister, brother, however you want to look at it. Number eight, we have such a creative community, and we are definitely arts focused, and we love our culture here. We love our history. We love our American Indian culture. So we are actually a certified creative district by the state of Colorado. So we have one of the top cities that cater to artists, and that's why we have all these really cool structures and statues and all these really cool things that are downtown and really all over the place in Colorado Springs. We also have the Fine Arts Museum, and you can go check that out and explore that. We have a ton of different museums here in the Springs. All right, so number 9, we have the highest and most popular zoo in the entire country. Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is a place that people love to come out here to visit, to look at, just to be in the mountains. You can go on this sky lift that you can oversee the entire city and see the landscape and see how beautiful the city of Colorado Springs truly is. And then you get to see some animals as well. What I love about the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is that though it's so popular and so amazing, they still make time for the community, and they have after hours events and things like that where companies can come together and host events for their employees or just have private parties. I think that's super cool. Number 10 is about the Winter Olympics. So we're called Olympic City, USA because we are home to the Olympic Training Center, and we also have our Olympic and Paralympic Museum. So number 11, we used to be called Little London because of all of the people that were coming from England back in the 1800s to come and look for health and wealth, since we had the big gold rush. But people also wanted adventure, and that's what they still do. They come out here, they want to do the hiking and all the off-road stuff. We've got so much land and space out here. You just really can't do any of that when you're in a city, a big city. We are a city, obviously, but there's a ton of land around to be able to do a lot of these things, and you don't have to go super far. So Cave of the Winds, lots of historic nature and things like that. People just looking for adventure. And it just continues to be the theme of why people love living here. So number 12, people love Colorado Springs because of our job market and our growth here. So we have a huge tech presence, and aside from all of the things to do, the housing is pretty affordable when you compare it to other larger cities. People want to move out here because of the job strength. And our cost of living is about average for the size of the city that it is. But the growth has just really created a strong market here in our area. Number 13, the America the Beautiful song. A lot of you guys might not know that that song was written here. Catherine Lee Bates was looking over at the mountains and just thought they were incredible and decided to make a song about it. It's a very popular song. It goes like this. It's very unlike me to sing, but I want you guys, I know when you hear the song, you're going to know it. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray. Yeah, that song. I mean, if people are writing a song about it, it's got to be good. All right, number 14 is our job culture. As I had mentioned earlier, we do have a lot of tech jobs and we do have a lot of military. So it keeps our economy booming and moving forward. And according to Zillow, we're one of the top cities that are good for graduates and people who are kind of starting their career. So once they've graduated college, and we have some really great colleges, but we are one of the best markets for recent college graduates due to more affordable cost of living and more career opportunities due to our strong job growth. Another really cool thing that I like, UCCS has a high minority graduate rate. That graduate rate for UCCS is 32%. So something to keep in mind about our diversity here in the Springs. And that was number 15. Now, if you like this video, maybe you can give it a like because that would support my business. It would support my channel and help me. Number 16 is about Academy Boulevard. Academy Boulevard is one of the most dangerous roads. I can't remember if it was in the whole state or I don't know. I think probably in the whole state. That there's even a guy that made a song about it, and the song, you can find it on YouTube, but it's just horrible. And I think one of the biggest things is that you can go pretty fast on Academy. And then there's a light. People tend to speed and not pay attention. And I think that's just what makes it a pretty dangerous road. Before we get into the most interesting and crazy facts about living in Colorado Springs, don't forget to subscribe to learn all there is to know about living in Colorado Springs. And if you need help relocating to the area, I'd love to be your Colorado Springs real estate agent. So the last one, number 17, is that Colorado Springs was built on a bunch of mine shafts. And one of the areas is actually over in Rockrimmon, where they have these huge mine shafts that go anywhere from 200 to 500 feet deep. And I believe that they try to fill these holes, but sometimes if you get a huge rain, your house could literally fall through the hole. And this actually happened many years ago where the yard just kind of sunk into one of these holes. And it's hard to know for sure where they are. There is a website, and I know that FEMA had to get involved, and it was like this big thing. It's not just that house. There have been plenty of other instances where houses have fallen, or there'd be a landslide or something crazy like that. So all these mine shafts go down, and there's all kinds of tunnels that go underneath all of these houses. So it's really interesting, but it's definitely not cool for homeowners. But they have all these caverns. So some experts say there's about 3,000 acres that have been affected alongside I-25, and they are prone to collapse. So at any moment they could collapse. So could you imagine buying a house up here, and then, a few years go by, and then you just come home one day and your entire house is like halfway inside of this giant hole? Now, if you do buy a house in one of these areas, you're going to have to get mine protection. And all of this stuff is online. So you can find it online, but you can get mine protection. It's an additional protection. So if that does happen in your house, then you will be covered. But if you don't get that, and it's not really expensive to actually get that added to your insurance to get that coverage. So really interesting history about this place. And somebody was on Facebook, and they had brought up this picture of like this little beehive looking hut with a hole in the middle, and they were asking what that was. And it's actually the longest standing relic in Colorado Springs, but it's up off of North I-25, basically where there used to be a restaurant up there, and this little beehive looking concrete thing was used to burn coal inside of. They're called cokes, but it basically burned all of the impurities out of the coal. And so when the miners left and moved on, when they were done mining, they just left it there. Now it's still here today. And it just sits up there on a hill as a reminder of us being a mine shaft town. Now, if you liked this video, you might like the video that's popping up next on the screen. So be sure to watch that, and I hope to meet you soon.